Good morning, everybody. This is Melanie. Welcome back to Crafting Chaos with Melanie, and this is part 2 of our mini album. Remember, we are making a fall mini album out of the Dollar Tree pumpkin, and today we get to start decorating the pages. This is the fun part. So there's a few things I want to share with you really quick whenever I start a project with this, especially if I'm stamping, and you will see, oh, forgive me, my cat is going to walk right by here. Come on. I'm sorry about that. Come on. Anybody that has cats know that they like to be the center of attention. Anyway, what we will be doing is going through the different inks that I'm pulling and how I do that. And what I normally do, you've heard of a mood board, or you'll get on Pinterest and you'll see mood boards for designing. So I like to do that. I usually get a piece of paper out, and I always like to get the white cardstock that I'm using. That way it's a true color. And I just pull out colors that I think are going to match. And in today's video, we are going to be using some Close to My Heart inks. And as you can see, I have several here. I'm not going to be using all these, but to me, these are the ink pads that match the closest to the paper pad. So I have Ruby, Paprika, Desert Rose, Cinnamon, Saffron, Sundance, Avocado, Fern. And I also pulled in a more of a orange color. There's not a lot of orange going on in here, like true orange, so I pulled in Nectarine. So the one thing I do want to show you really quick, I had told you in another video, or maybe it's in an upcoming video, I can't remember which, my go-to inks are definitely Close to My Heart and Catherine Puller. And they're two different inks in the sense Catherine Puller is a sponge type ink pad, and these are a felt. And these are huge ink pads. Packaging, I don't think there's another ink pad on the market that can even compare to these. These are magnetic ink pads. And guys, these are not small. These are large ink pads. What are they? Wow. Let's see here. They are 4.5 by almost 5 inches. This is a good size ink pad here. They stamp really good. The saturation's really good. And the biggest difference with these, this is a water-based ink, so it will react to water as Catherine Puller's react to water as well. But whenever you have a sturdy pad like this, like the felt pad, no, I'm sorry, this is a linen pad. This is not a felt pad. I think Catherine's are felt pads. They're durable and they soak the ink up, so you do not have to re-ink these as a matter of fact, I've had these for a year and I have never re-inked them, and I use them all the time. And as you're going to see in some upcoming videos, I will be pulling in some Catherine Puller inks. I love Catherine Puller inks, but you do need to re-ink those. So that is an ink investment right out of the gate. You need to buy the re-inkers. With Close to My Heart, you can just buy the ink pads, and I will list these down below, the inks that I'm using. I'm using Spiced Market cardstock pack from Michaels, and this is just an array of traditional fall colors. They do still have this cardstock if you want to go check it out. You get 50 sheets, and this is always on sale. So I'll be using my Vintage Photo today to do your distressing. So I have the Vintage Photo. I will be using the Genevieve and Mama Made It collaboration stamp set. This is Picture Perfect. This is a perfect stamp set to have if you're making a mini album that you're not putting the photos in yet. And it has really cool tags. And what's really neat about this, Genevieve actually hand drew the tags. Now the typography I'm not sure about, but I know the tags she did, and I love it because they're a little wonky. I love them. I love these tags, so we will be using these today. So let's go ahead and get started with our decorating today. I'm going to pull in our first page. This is the back of the front cover. Now we're going to be doing our covers last, okay? And all I did was pull from my scraps. Now I've already cut these, and guys, I think I did 1.5 inches. 1 3/4 inches. I just made 1 3/4 inch strips, and this one is 2 inches, so I have 1 3/4 inches and 2 inches, and I've already cut these. from the scraps that we were using. Now, if you'll see, this has still even got the hole punch in the top. That's okay, we're covering it up, don't stress about it. So we are going to glue these down, right? No rhyme or reason, I'm just making a crisscross, okay? Because I think it's gonna be pretty. And I'm gonna put my glue. Now, I'm not putting glue all the way to the end because we're gonna be trimming it, because it's got, it's a little bit too long for the pumpkin, all right? I am using my art glitter glue because this is thicker cardstock. It's a smaller amount. All right, squish it out. This is where I use my art glitter glue. I use it for layering paper, thicker paper that we're going to be covering up. Art glitter glue is so economical, y'all, and it dries very quickly. All right, so we got some hang off, right? So what we're going to do is just flip this over, and we're just going to trim that off. It is not a big deal, and we're going to do that on both sides. All right, so let's get this out of the way. And remember, we're distressing all the edges, so you want to make sure you go back over that. And just distress it. And then we're going to take our next sheet of paper. Now again, I'm not going all the way to the end. I can go back and add glue where I need to. And I am just going to stick this on here. All right. See? We just made a crisscross. This is going to look so good. Now I did get a little glue, and we are just going to nip these. Now guys, these little pieces, if you want to keep these little pieces, it would do a cute little banner, but now this piece definitely, other than the fact it got glue all over it. So we are going to just get this out of the way, and I'm going to move this as well. All right, so let's ink the edges. All right, so there's the first page, okay? We're going to set this to the side, and we're going to do page 2 and 3 real quick, and we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to add the photos. Now this one, all right, let me show you what I did. These pages, all right, let me put my pen back in my art glitter glue because it will dry up, y'all. Okay, these pages are side by side when you open them, and I've used two different papers. So I wanted to pull in some elements that look the same. So what I did here is I used the scrap from this paper, and then on this page I'm using the leaf paper that we used here. So it kind of brings them together just a little bit. Now on these we are going to be doing some layering, okay? Now I don't have any of this inked, so let's go ahead and ink these, ink the edges. Not worrying about the sides yet because those are going to be trimmed. All right, so we got the edges inked. This right here was a border strip that is from the paper collection that I just trimmed off. It was a 12 by 12 sheet. I have it over here, but I don't know if I can reach it or not, but I just trimmed off. I'm just making like a, almost, some people would call this a cluster. I just call it a decorative element. And all I'm doing is layering up. Now remember, we talked about whenever you're using the same paper pad, everything's going to go together. You do not have to think about it. All right, we know, because all this came from that paper collection, that I can pull anything out and it should go very well together. So that's what we're doing. So here, all right, all I'm doing is inking these edges, okay? And we are going to glue these. We are going to layer these up. Okay, so let's get this art glitter glue out. And we are just going to layer this up. That little bit of time in the art glitter glue already started drying up. This stuff dries so fast. That's a big difference between this and the Barely Art. The Barely Art glue you actually have a little bit of time to maneuver with. Art glitter glue you don't. I mean, you have some time, but not a lot of time. And then the Fabri-Tac obviously takes a little time too. All right, so there we go. Okay. And we are just going to stick that on there, making sure it's straight. Oh, isn't that pretty? This would be a beautiful title strip for a 12 by 12 album. 12 by 12 page. Oh, I love that. Okay, so we're just going to bring this over here. And we are just going to put it right here. Now notice I'm covering my holes up. That's okay. All we got to do is go back and hole punch them. It's not a big deal, okay? I'm going to try to do better with the glue and not get the glue everywhere. All right, so let's just get this, cover this up really good. So let's just stick this down. Okay. And we're going to trim this off. We're just going to trim this off. Flush against the pumpkin. All right. This is a little bit thicker. You got 3 layers there. Oh, isn't that pretty? I love that. Love that. All right, now let's ink these edges really good. All right, so we've got these 2 pages done. Now let's talk about our photo mats. I like to mat my photos. I think it makes the photos look better. It makes them pop, especially if you're using the colors from the paper and the photos. Now this album, I'm giving it away. When I get done with this album, I'm actually sending it to one of you all. Remember to comment below so you can be in that drawing. So I like to mat, I like to double mat. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be doing a color mat. And then I like to bring in a little white. Just to break up the color in case your pictures don't match exactly. I think that white border pulls it together. So in this album, we're doing all 4x6 photos. And the reason I'm doing that, if you're giving this to somebody for a gift and they're not a scrapbooker or they're not a memory, you know, they don't craft. If you hand them a book that's got all these different sizes in it, 9 times out of 10, they're going to look through the book. They're, oh, this is so pretty, and the book is going to sit there. It's going to sit there pretty, but they're not going to take the time to put their photos in it because they have to trim. They have to measure and they have to trim. And if you're not a crafter or an artistic person of any kind, a lot of people won't do that. So if I'm gifting an album to somebody who I know has never done this, I try really hard to make it 4x6 because that is your standard photo. And I do the mats to where all they literally have to do is put glue on the back of their photo and put the photo in the book. That is it. I love doing that. I have done baby books that way. I have done so many albums that way, and I always include the glue with it. So I make, you know, giving them the tools to do everything they need to do. All they have to do is print the photos. And I think that's important to remember whenever you're gifting an album. Now, for me, if it's a 4x4 or a 3x3 or a 2x2, whatever it is, I know how to go on the computer and maneuver and do that. And we're going to do that. I'm going to show you the program that I use. Actually, I use Microsoft Word or Publisher on my main computer. It's really easy. But we will be sizing photos later on. But for this project and for many projects, I stick with 4x6. So whenever you're using 4x6, you just want to go up a quarter. So your largest mat is going to be 4.5 by 6.5. So we're going to be using the yellow today. So what I do is I take the 8.5 inch side. This is 8.5 by 11, right? And I'm going to cut this to my longest length. So this right here is going to be my 6.5, and I do it on one swipe. And I do this because this leaves me with one strip of paper left over on this side. I can do something with this. I can stamp it. I can use it for a border. There's a lot that I can do with this instead of having it chopped up in so many different sizes. And then I want to flip it. So it's going to be 6.5 by 4.5, right? So you do 4.5 and 4.5. All right, so again, we have a little strip, and I just put those to the side here in my little trolley. All right, so we're going to be doing a white mat. So this one, we're going to be doing 6 1/4, right? Because this is the mat that's going by your photo, and again, I'm using the 8.5 by the 8.5 side, the short side. A perfectly long strip. We use these strips. These are the strips that I use to do most of my leaves on that we will be using. So there was one leaf that didn't fit, but all the other leaves and the embellishments that I stamped, I used this sheet of paper. Okay. All right, and then we're going to go over here, and this is going to be 4 1/4. So you got 4 1/4 and 4 1/4. Okay, I'm done with my trimmer. This is the Cricut trimmer. I do use this a lot. You're going to see me use different trimmers, guys. I have so many trimmers, and I am a trimmer snob. I can't stand for the blade to leave a frayed edge. So I flip my trimmers around and change the blade. So I have a lot of trimmers. I really don't know what the best one in my stash is definitely the Fiskars Precision trimmer, but it's huge. It is huge, so it's not something I'd like to get out for a video. All right, so let's just put that up. All right, so these are the ones, this right here are the ones that are going to be against the photo. Your photo is going to go on this. So this is where that stamp set's going to come in. And I'm going to show you another product real quick that I love. You're going to be seeing a lot, and I don't think this is talked about a lot on the internet at all. This is close to my heart, VersaMat, and as you can tell, this thing is loved. I have two, and I use them all the time. It's a 12 by 12 mat, and it's just a typical mat on the outside. It's really good if you're doing scrapbook pages because it gives you the measurements on the outside. So actually, this is probably 12 1/4. No, 12 1/2. It's a 12 1/2 by 12 1/2 mat. So when you have your paper on here, you still have your measurements on the outside, which I love. This is a really good way to line things up. But the one thing that makes this so different, if you are a stamper, guys, you need to invest in this. This is you flip it over. Look at that. You have your stamping sponge. You know how you will get fun foam or the packaging from the stamps or a mouse pad and put your paper on top of it to get a good impression? Well, this is already there on the back of the mat. I love this mat. All right, so let's stamp these really quick. And I already have these on a block, and I just use an ink that I'm using in the album. I'm going to use Toffee with Close to My Heart. This part doesn't matter. I like to make sure it matches. This is where your photo is going to go. This is literally where they put their photo. All right, so we are going to place photo here. We're going to do one this way. And we're going to do one this way. You hear Kitty Bob in the background. She's whining a little bit today. All right. Now, if you notice, I did get a little bit right here. That's okay. The photo's going to cover it up, and I'm okay about that. I'm not going to stress about that. Like everything else in the album, we are going to ink the edges. these edges. Now this cardstock is from the Spice Market cardstock from Michael's. So again, this is a great cardstock pack to have on hand for fall. It really is, and it matches the Close to My Heart ink so good. I was really surprised. All right. Okay. Now I will tell you, if this white was going to show, all this white was going to show, I would not use the art glitter glue, because on this white cardstock, it's 60-pound cardstock from Michael's. You can see it. Hands down, you can see it. However, where the photo is going to go on top of it, I'm okay with that because the photo is going to cover it up. So I'm not at all mad about it. So we are just going to use the art glitter glue. Again, you can use whatever you have. Normally on this, I pull out my ATG as well. I use my ATG so much that I actually have 2 of those. But I decided just to keep art glitter glue today. All right. So glue that down really good. And in this album, the recipient, all they have to do is make sure they have a landscape photo or a horizontal photo. Portrait or landscape. That's the only thing they have to figure out. And they have just to glue it down. All right. So let's do the placement of these on our pages. All right. So on this page, we're going to do it this way because we're going to add something here. All right. So let's put this here. I'm just going to glue that down there like that. Yes, that's, yeah. Okay. And on this one, here, let me look real quick what I did. I think I do it horizontally on this one. Yeah. All right. So we're going to do this one the opposite direction. And we are just going to pull this up here. All right. And I've also got it cut for the back of page 2, so this is page 3. And this one's very simple. I use the orange on this one, all right? And we are just going to take the photos like this. This is going to be a simple one, so let me show you how to do this. We're going to glue your first photo frame down, all right? Now throughout this album, I need to make sure that the photo can fit down in the, down in here. All right, because see, I'm going to overlap this a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fingers here and I'm not going to put any glue there. All right, I'm not going to put any glue in the section where my fingers are at. All right, let me show you why. See, those are touching. So whenever the recipient gets this, look at this. Their photo will fit right there. All right, see what I'm saying? They don't have to lift anything. Then all they have to do is go through. I'm actually going to add a little glue right here because that can be stuck down. There we go. And this one over a little bit, so let's trim this off. Okay, all right. So we've got page 3, page 2, page 1. All right, let's decorate these. All right. So we're going to get our stamp sets out. This is where you get to have some creative fun. What is it that you want to do? I'm going to put a really pretty title on this. We're going to pull out this Hawthorne scrapbooking, and then this one is called Autumn is in the Air. This is an old Close to My Heart stamp of the month, and this one's from 2 years ago. All right, so we've got those out. I love this. And just like that, summer turned into fall. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so let's get this one stamped out. This is a big stamp. This is a huge stamp. So I'm going to use my Misty on this one because it's so big. So let's just put this down. And just like that, We're going to go here. And here's the autumn. All right, and what I do is I just put it down on a misty, get it lined up the way I want it. I'm gonna flip it over. Okay, so let's get a piece of paper out. Let me see if I have anything that will fit this already cut out. I'm using white. Let's see what we got. Let's go over. Perfect. All right, so what color do we want to do this in? I am going to use Toffee. Are we going to use Toffee? I didn't think about that. I wish I had. Actually, we're going to use a darker brown. We are going to use Icing on the Cake by Catherine Puller, okay? I'm going to pull this one in because I like this brown. It's a very deep brown. And I'm using my Misty because this is a very large image, and I am probably going to have to stamp this a couple of times to get what I want. So we're going to pull this over and give it a good press. Lift this up. See what I mean? We're going to have to do this again. And this has something on it. Look at that. What is that? Do you see that? There's something on my stamp. So let's just see what's on my stamp here. It's weird. Make sure there's nothing over here. All right. Now we got it clean. Let's try that again. I'm just going to, all right, let's flip this over and see. Nope. Okay. Now, you're going to see, I'm going to have to stamp this several times, but see, this is that felt ink pad. It really drinks the ink up, but when these are inked, they make such a beautiful, beautiful image. Crisp. This one, shoot. All right, we're going to go with that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and just like that, summer turned into autumn. All right, so I'm going to clean this off. And I just have, this is a Dollar Tree chamois. I've had this for like 2 or 3 years, not kidding. And every once in a while, I will throw it in the wash machine. So I just want to give that a very quick once over. And I'm going to take this off very easily. This is a big stamp set, so you got to be careful with those stamps. All right, we're going to put this up, put this to the side. All right, so we're done with this one, I think. And the next thing I'm going to stamp, we're going to do all our stamping now. I want to stamp out Grateful for Family. I love this. All right, so we're going to pull this out. Now, if I was using, if this was re-inked, it's not, I apologize, I should have re-inked it before I came on. I would use the VersaMat. But where this isn't re-inked, I want to use my Misty because I think I'm going to have to do it multiple times, and I don't want any, you know, I want this album to be very nice for you all. So let's just pull this over. I'm going to bunch this up to the side here, and I'm just going to line this up like so. All right. And we're going to ink that up. All right. Okay, so we're done with this. Let's just put this up. Guys, if I leave this out, I won't put it up. So go ahead and take a minute to do that. Okay, and then we are also going to be using from Genevieve's, we're going to be using one of her tags. So I've decided to use this tag. So all I'm going to do is flip this over on the other side and put this in, making sure this is straight. This kind of matters, making sure that that is straight. I might as well just come down here. Okay, I think that's straight. We're going to go with it. All right, and we're going to, this kind of reminds you of a nameplate. Like a old-timey nameplate. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, give that a quick once over. And then I'm going to put in there special moment, special memories. Now for that, I'm just going to flip this off because I'm going to use a color in this. So I'm going to show you this VersaMat. This is, I love this VersaMat, guys. This is something, if you don't have, you should totally go check this out. This is a beautiful, we are going to use paprika in this. All right, so remember the ink pads, they are magnetic. All right, I want to show you what a good image, make sure that I'm in there. Now these are new. I probably need to stamp off. I don't know that I've used this. Oh, perfect. Okay. We're just going to put special moments in that. Give it a press. There you go. Bada boom, bada bing. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now let's get all this cut out really quick. And all right, so let's get our trimmer back out. We're going to trim these up a little bit and mat them. Okay, so let's go here. Just trimming all this off really quick. You could probably do this with scissors on this one. I'm not so good with scissors. I'll just tell you, I'm not. But I think I will go in here with a little bit of scissors so I can get closer to that. All right, so we got that one. This one, we're going to go the same. All right, so we get all this out of the way. Now I said I was going to mat these, so I want to mat these too. So let's get out some yellow. See what I got. Let's see if any of these scraps are going to work, and it definitely going to work. So let's just give this, okay, this is going to be seen, okay, and I don't want to use my art glitter, so I'm getting out my ATG on this and just giving that a quick go with my ATG gun. And I just want to line this up, guys. I am not measuring this, I'm just lining it up. All right, so let's flip this back out of the way. And we are just going to go over here and trim this off. All right, I did mess up, guys. I forgot to ink that white. That's okay, we're going to do it now. So let's just ink this. And I inked the yellow heavy so it goes onto the white, so you won't even know. There we go. Let's go ahead and do this one. our special moments. Okay, now let's do the, unfortunately I'm out of scrap paper for the yellow that will fit the larger, so I'm going to have to make my own. So let's get this, and remember I'm using my ATG gun on this because I don't want any glue lines to show. Just want to make sure. For the most part, the art glitter glue does an amazing job. I just don't like the lines on that thinner cardstock. All right, so let's come back over here, and we are going to just do a little bit of a border. All right. Now we got all that done, so let's, okay, so this is your first page. We're going to put this here, okay? And just like that, summer turned into autumn. Oh, isn't that beautiful? All right. So let's glue that down. We are going to use the art glitter glue. Isn't that pretty? It's very simple, but it's pretty. I love that. All right, so let's take this one. Now with this one, I'm going to give this one a little bit of dimension, and I'm going to pop this up. I want this one to come up a little bit. So I'm using some pop dots. Now guys, I have a lot of dimensionals. I have the big roll, Scotch roll, but I have found these from the Dollar Tree for $1, and I love them. I love these. They are so sticky. They are a good height. Go grab them. Just any kind of adhesive that you see at the Dollar Tree dimensional, grab it. I have so much of it in there because when my Dollar Tree gets it in, I go buy it. You can never have, and you don't feel bad for using so much of it, like the big Scotch. I have that big roll of Scotch foam, and I'm more stingy with it because it costs so much. It's an expensive roll. But with these, I have found I can just do what I want. My goodness, y'all, my cat is going nuts in the background. I don't know what she's doing. This is hilarious. I wish you could see her. Okay. All right, so here we go. And we are just going to pop this up, and we're going right there. Now, this is your first 3 pages right here. Tomorrow we are going to do the waterfall and a pocket and do the rest of the pages. And then on tomorrow's Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we're going to do the front cover and all the decorative elements. And what I mean by that is we're going to go back through these pages and we're going to decorate these pages. I know what we're going to do. All I can tell you is stamp a bunch of leaves. If you have a stamp set with leaves on it and fall foliage, then go ahead and stamp you some up, because that's what we're going to be using throughout this. And I do have some stamped, but unfortunately I don't have them with me. Actually I do, I just found them. All right, here, let's just go ahead and do this really quick. So what I've done is I have just took a bunch of leaves from different stamp sets that I have that I showed you in the beginning, and I stamped them. So I have all these different leaves. I have an acorn and just all these different leaves in the colors that I had mentioned. that I will link below, okay? So all we are going to do is build a little scene here. So we're going to do this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this gigantic stamp and we're going to put that there, okay? I like that. And then I'm going to take a couple of green, I think, and we're going to do this. That is all we are doing right there. So down here I kind of want to mimic it, but I don't want to use this big one down here. You know what, we are going to use the big one, but we got to make sure we don't glue this, right? And then we might put us a green one here as well to go up. Oh, isn't that pretty? All right, so what we're going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this green, and I know I want the green attached right there to that. I'm going to take this, I'm going to do the same. All right, so I have my little cluster. All right, I have a cluster, and I want to pop these up. All right, so we are going to pop these up with these Dollar Tree dimensionals, and I'm just going to get a few here and put on the back of these leaves, right? Bada boom, bada bing. Now you want to make sure that you're not getting any adhesive where the photo needs to go, all right? That's the only thing when you're doing something like this. Now if you're doing your photos as you go, you do not have to worry about this step, but this is a gift. All right. Oh, that's so pretty. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love this. Now we're going to do one more dimensional right here because this is a little bit flat. So let's go. Okay. That is pretty. Okay, with this one, we're going to do this one a little bit differently because this is going on the photo. You see this right here? I don't want anything right there. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it on the side, right? And I'm going to cut this and just put it right there. I want to make sure there's nothing that's going to interfere with the photo for one of you all. All right, so we're going to take this and we're just going to put it right there. And the photo can go. Now see, I have some right here I can put, so now your photo will fit right down in there. I love that. And this one I'm not going to pop up. I'm not going to pop this one up. We're just going to take this and just put it going on top of the page. All right, down here I feel like we need something else. So what we're going to do is take one of these little acorns. Isn't that cute? And we're just going to put that little thing right there. Oh, guys, that is the cutest acorn ever. So we're going to put a little pop dot at the top. We're going to do the top and we're going to glue the bottom because the bottom's going on an area that's already mounted and that's not. And there you go, just like that. That is so pretty. I love this. Okay, so let's just go over here to the next page real quick. We'll go ahead and do this, and we're going to do this one. Now this one we're doing a little bit different. We're going to just put these, let me pull these down out of the way. We're going to put a little spray coming out. So what do we have here? I have some yellow ones, so let's just do this and this. I'm going to cut the stem off because I don't need it. And we're going to take an orange. Maybe. All right. Do an orange. Okay, isn't that pretty? Those are so pretty. All right. And that's all I'm going to do there. I think we need green. I don't know about that orange. I think we need green. What do y'all think? Green? I think we need green. Okay, you know what? We are going to stop here. I'm not going to glue these down because I want to stamp some more, and I don't want to keep you for all that. So I'm going to get off here and do a bunch of stamping so we have enough for the rest of the album. And tomorrow, I'm super excited about tomorrow because tomorrow we are going to be doing the waterfall and we're going to be doing a pocket. So let me give you a little sneaky peek of what this waterfall is going to look like, because like I said, I've already done one of these albums and I have it completed right here in front of me. So I'm going to grab it. I am so sorry. I know I'm in frame. Look what we're going to do. We're going to be doing this tomorrow. I'm going to teach you how to do a very easy waterfall, and we're going to be doing this tomorrow. And then we're also going to be doing these pockets tomorrow. So tomorrow we're actually going to finish up the inside of the album, and then the last day we're going to do the covers, and I'm going to show you how we did this and pull it all together. Okay guys, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Remember to leave a comment today. Tell me what you did this weekend. It was a holiday weekend. Did you do anything fun? I did not do anything fun. I was having a little bit of a back issue, so I kind of stayed in yesterday. So leave me a comment, ring the bell. If you know any of your crafty friends that you think might enjoy this channel, then please, by all means, share. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.